Imagine discovering a city that remained buried under Saharan sands for 1,000 years. That's what happened with the Scottish explorer James Bruce in 1765 when he chanced upon one of the most interesting finds of the 18th century: the remarkably planned ancient Roman city of Timgad. Over a century later, the city was properly excavated in the 1880s, a process that continued until the 1960s. The excavation revealed some remarkable secrets. Timgad stands as a remarkable illustration of Roman urban planning and social benefits for its citizens. Situated amidst the blazing red sands of Algeria near the Sahara Desert, this city was exclusively constructed to accommodate veteran soldiers, shedding light on the living conditions and structure of such colonies. The well-preserved grid layout of Timgad exemplifies the meticulous planning of Roman colonies, showcasing the organized and strategic approach taken in its construction. It stands as a testament to the kind of treatment Rome provided for its veterans, and the kind of rewards that awaited them upon completion of their military duties. The full name of Timgad was Colonia Marciana Ulpia Traiana Thamugadi. The city was founded by Emperor Trajan around 100 AD, and its name was meant to commemorate his mother Marcia, his eldest sister Ulpia Marciana, and his father Marcus Ulpius Traianus. Timgad was created as an encampment for the Legio III Augusta, or the Third Augustan Legion. Being a soldier himself, Trajan understood the significance of honoring veterans for their service to the empire. Timgad was built ex nihilo, which literally means out of nothing. Due to this, Timgad is one of the finest examples of Roman urban planning. The city's plan was designed as a perfect square, bisected by two main streets that were perpendicular to each other. The street that ran from north to south is known as the Cardo, whereas the east-west-oriented street is known as the Decumanus. However, the Cardo does not run the whole length of the city, only to its center, where the Forum was once located. In every Roman city, the Forum was the central public square, and a theater was always present. This area served as the central meeting space for all residents, and also for commercial activities. Timgad was a walled settlement, and was accessed from one of its 4 gates, one for each cardinal direction. On the western side of the old city, the gate was replaced by a triumphal arch, Trajan's Arch, when the urban area spread beyond its original limits. Trajan's Arch stands at the end of the Decumanus, connecting the old and new areas, and is often regarded as one of the city's most impressive structural remains. The road leading from the arch to the new area of Timgad is decorated with columns, and its central section was designed specifically for the use of chariots, whilst pedestrians walked on either side of it. To the south of Timgad's Forum was the city's theater, which was the place where public performances were held. The theater was built during the 160s and was formed by cutting into a side of a hill. Although Timgad's theater is comparatively smaller than most others in the Roman Empire, about 3,500 people could still be seated in it at any given time. Timgad boasted all the features of a typical Roman city, with the library being particularly noteworthy due to an inscription still present. Interestingly, this library is one of only 2 that have survived from the Roman era, the other being in Ephesus. In the southwest corner was a grand temple complex honoring Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva. Yet another feature of Roman urban planning was its baths. At Timgad, the remains of as many as 14 baths have survived. One of these is located on the northern end of the city's Cardo. These baths were on the left side of the Cardo as one entered the city's gates, and would have been used by weary travelers entering the city from that direction. Some of Timgad's domestic structures, about 100 or so houses, have also been excavated by archaeologists over the decades. These have yielded much information about the life that the inhabitants of Timgad had during Roman times, but more on these houses later. Research suggests that from the early Republican period, Rome had begun establishing colonies as a way to settle its citizens in newly acquired lands. Many cities in Italy, for example, still bear the Roman grid pattern from their colonial past. Italica, the first colony outside of Italy, was founded in modern-day Spain during the Second Punic War. The grid pattern was also evident in this colony. During the imperial era, the practice of settling veterans in colonies became more widespread. This was a beneficial strategy for Rome, as it allowed for the maintenance of Roman influence in frontier areas, while also rewarding military veterans. As a Roman citizen, you would have been assigned to the formidable heavy infantry units known as the legionaries. However, if you were not a citizen, you would be assigned to the auxiliary units. which specialized in various fields such as archery, cavalry, and light infantry. These specialized auxiliary units provided support to the heavy infantry. Brave individuals who enlisted in the army committed themselves to a grueling 25-year service. It was undoubtedly a challenging and perilous life, with low life expectancy. Yet, if you managed to endure and were fortunate enough to retire, you and your family would be granted full Roman citizenship. The extension of Roman citizenship to non-Romans was a clever strategy of the empire. In return for their loyalty, these people were given a stake in the powerful Roman Empire, who benefited from its protection and legal system, not to mention its modern urban amenities, such as Roman baths, houses, theaters, and a fancy public library. Upon arrival in Timgad after their service, they were granted a piece of land on the outskirts for farming purposes. The region was lush and fertile back then. Another plot within the town was offered to construct their residence as well. Approximately 100 lots were distributed, each measuring about 20 meters by 20 meters. These were likely multi-story apartment buildings known at the time as insulae. In each insula, multiple families would come together to create a shared living space. This meant that veterans had the opportunity to team up and build their own insula, fostering a sense of camaraderie among them. The fact that the lots were of equal size indicates a community that valued equality. Moreover, since these individuals had served in the military together, forming strong bonds over the years, it's safe to assume that the community was tightly knit. Everyone knew each other and supported one another. If the citizens preferred not to engage in farming, they had the option to receive a lump sum of money as well. This could be invested in a small business, providing an opportunity for economic growth. Furthermore, veterans were also exempt from certain taxes, lightening your financial burden. Considering all the advantages, perhaps it was a wise decision to commit to 25 years of military service. It provided a pathway for upward social mobility, especially for those who originated from the lower classes. This town was situated on the outskirts, surrounded by the beauty of nature. Also, the mosaics found in Timgad depicted a city that thrived in opulence, showcasing its lavish urban environment. Having outgrown its original street grid, Timgad had spread beyond the perimeters of its ramparts, and several major public buildings were built in the new quarters: Capitolium, temples, markets, and baths, most of which date from the city's Golden Age, in the Severan period between 193 and 235. Timgad had evolved from a mere veteran colony into a thriving town, bustling with families who had found success through exporting agricultural goods to Rome and engaging in various other commercial ventures. As the economy flourished, so did the population, reaching an impressive estimate of 15,000 residents. Undoubtedly, life in Timgad was far superior compared to the squalor and congestion of Rome. Moreover, Timgad boasted an impressively low crime rate, unlike the bustling capital. After a day's work, you could indulge in leisurely activities such as visiting the baths, socializing at the forum, attending the theater, or exploring the library that would have housed manuscripts relating to religion, military history, and good governance. An inscription discovered in Timgad, written in Latin, proclaimed, "To hunt, to bathe, to play, to laugh, that is life." This inscription conveyed the notion that Timgad was a place of happiness and contentment. However, this idyllic existence was not meant to last. In comparison to other Roman cities, Timgad's lifespan was relatively short. In the 5th century, the Vandals, a Germanic tribe, invaded the empire, sweeping through Iberia and eventually settling in North Africa. In 455 AD, they embarked on a journey to Rome and unleashed havoc upon it, which lasted for a prolonged period and stripped the city of its precious treasures. For a solid 2 weeks, they rampaged through the streets, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake and plundering valuable possessions. The Vandals, though, were not only responsible for vandalizing Rome, but also Timgad. For nearly a century, the Vandals ruled over their kingdom in North Africa until 535 AD, when the Byzantine Emperor Justinian dispatched General Belisarius to reclaim North Africa for the Eastern Romans. This reconquest led to the dissolution of the Vandalic kingdom and brought about a revival for Timgad, which transformed into a fully Christian city. However, the city's ultimate destruction came when the Arabs conquered North Africa from the Byzantines around 700 AD. The Arabs seemingly had little interest in this remote location, and did not bother to establish their own city there. As a result, Timgad lost its significance and was completely abandoned by the 8th century. Gradually, Timgad became buried under layers of Saharan sand, inadvertently preserving it. Today, Timgad stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting visitors from around the world who come to marvel at its well-preserved ruins and to walk in the footsteps of ancient Romans. The city remains a powerful symbol of the Roman Empire's reach and its enduring influence on the world's cultural and architectural heritage. As we conclude our journey through Timgad, we are left with a profound appreciation for the city's historical significance and fostering the spirit of community living. Timgad is more than just an ancient city. It is a testament to the ingenuity, resilience, and cultural richness of the Roman Empire. Its ruins tell a story of human achievement and the relentless passage of time, inviting us to reflect on our own place in history. To continue your ancient adventures, please subscribe and press the notification button. Till the next time, this is Ancient Secrets.